Hi, this is Chris Ramberg, and I have been posting a few videos that help educate you about the foods that you eat. And the number one thing that Brian and I both do for a lot of our clients is really actually recommend smoothies, because smoothies help you integrate great foods into your body where you might not have the normal habit of eating these foods regularly. And in a smoothie, you can take in, a week's worth of fruits and vegetables and a couple of drinks. And so this is a great way to both take in raw food in your diet, take in the whole fruit in the way that you would have eaten it, and take in phytonutrients from all sorts of plants and vegetables from all over the place. So the question was, that I was posed by some of my clients was, well, how do you make these smoothies? So let's just get into a couple of those little tidbits. One, I have a Vitamix blender. It's a high horsepower blender that is recommended. There's MTN, there's Blendtec, and there's Vitamix, all great blenders. You can start with whatever blender that you have, though. Some things I'll point out you should or should not do in the blender. The very first thing that I do, though, is I love to use chia seeds, omega-3 acid, alpha-lipoic acid specifically. They're really good, but you should soak them first. 10-15 minutes, they become very gelatinous, which is actually the seed coating sort of starting to sprout, and that's the way that they're most nutritious and easily absorbed by the body. So you want to let them soak first. I use a little bit of water base because I use a lot of vegetables and fruits, and so that's how you keep your smoothie smooth, is a little bit of water. And I don't generally like to use ice, but one thing that I recommend for you mothers that out there that are trying to make maybe smoothies for your children is I generally will freeze the fruit. So I'll take the bananas when they start to go ripe or overripe, and I'll freeze them without the skins, or some strawberries or organic blueberries. And frozen fruit is a great way to help keep your smoothie cold if you want to serve it cold when you first make it. So a couple of little things that I easily do, because a lot of these have a flavor profile that's very important. And if you're gonna make the smoothie taste good, which is if you're trying it out for the first time, that's very important, right? You wanna enjoy what you're doing first. So I highly encourage generally more fruit than vegetables when you're first getting out. Eventually, once you've grown a taste of this, you wanna shift that to mostly vegetables and a little bit of fruit. But for a starting smoothie to make you taste good is what we're gonna go over today. First, plums. Plums are amazingly high in silica, really good for bone density. That's how you rebuild calcium in your bones. They took a study of Japanese women that over the age of 30, they were losing 1 to 2% of bone density per year. They put them on 3 plums a year. Nothing else about their diet changed. The average woman in the study gained 5% bone density because of silica. The two highest foods, which are both great for your smoothies, are both plums and cucumbers. So feel free to be great with these. I generally will cut out the seed on these. Some of them will leave the seed in. So when I talk about that, it's the avocado. The avocado I love to mix in because the avocado is great for saturated fats. And I don't care what you've heard, saturated fats, vegetable saturated fats especially, are really good for you. The meat of the avocado has 3 grams of soluble fiber. The seed has 12 grams of soluble fiber. The whole avocado has 15 grams of soluble fiber. That's like 15 bowls of Cheerios without the milk and without the sugar. And they get an endorsement from the American Heart Association. Plus it has 150 milligrams of beta-cistrol, which is really good for your cholesterol. So I use generally the whole avocado, and if you have a high horsepower blender, include the seed. The lime is also really good. Super high in vitamin C, literally no sugar, so this is great for diabetics. I only use about a half a lime for a whole smoothie. Lime is a very concentrated taste, obviously. So flavor profile, that's where you really start to get this in. I shave the green, but I try to leave as much as the white as possible. That's where a lot of the phytonutrients are. That's where a lot of the vitamin C is. That's called the pith. With almost any fruit that has a pith, most of the vitamins are in the white part, so you want to save that. I generally don't do bananas, but if you're first trying to do this out for your kids at home, it's really good for, it's high in fructose, it's a little high in sugar, but it tastes really great. And so bananas, to help increase your flavor profile, is a great way to start. Ginger root, I highly, highly recommend. It has like 46 natural antibiotics in it. It's powerful for your energy. It's great neurologically. But the thing with ginger is it's so powerful, you really only want a couple of thin slices, right? Nice, smooth, thin slices to start it first. Because once again, it's a very strong flavor profile. Just a little bit too much dramatically changes the taste of your smoothie. And if you want to keep your ginger root fresh longer, also put a little bit of water on it every once in a while. It helps the root stay fresher much longer. I also really recommend kiwis. It's great from a flavor profile. It's extremely good for you. Tons of phytonutrients. If any of your kids are struggling with anything with lung or asthma, we've seen amazing assistance with our clients by just adding 2 to 3 kiwis a day to their diet. One of the phytonutrients in there is just amazing to help you reduce asthma symptoms. I love mushrooms. They're definitely a different flavor profile, but I also like reishi extract. So this is great for your immune system, also circulatory, and it's a great way to have in your system every day. Mushrooms are also a really great source of vitamin D for those that don't get enough sunlight. Blueberries are definitely something I generally buy organic. I actually get this giant bag of organic frozen blueberries at Costco, and it's recommended organic. They have a hard shell, so you don't necessarily need to. Loaded with anthocyanins. It's the number 2 food with anthocyanins. Acai berry is the number 1, but it's actually significantly more money. So I highly recommend these. I would also, once again, I buy the frozen, so frozen fruit helps flavor profile. Cucumbers. Notice this is an organic wrap cucumber. American society has driven our grocery store to change a lot of things about the way our food market is. And we apparently, as consumers, don't like it when our food has holes or looks like bugs have been affected to it. So they generally will spray all non-organic stuff down with wax, apples, and never mind pesticides or herbicides, but also wax. And wax is not good for us. And so they do that to keep the skins fresh. So what you'll find is that an organic cucumber will generally have a plastic wrap around it. Plastic's not good for you either, so make sure you still wash it off thoroughly. But I highly recommend cucumbers organically. Still very affordable. And I use about a half a cucumber for a smoothie. This is the beet. The beet has an ingredient in it called betaine. Now, if you're going to use beet in your smoothie, this is where I would highly encourage starting with an extremely small amount of beet. Beet, tastes like a garden in just a small little sliver of this. So I would highly encourage you using it. The active ingredient that gives it that rich red flavor is called betaine. It's very similar to hemoglobin. It's one of the first things we would recommend to anybody struggling that's fighting any types of disease or symptoms that has to do with the blood, or the blood helps you detox. Because once again, it looks kind of like the heart. It's really great for the heart. It's really good for your blood flow. Pumpkin seeds, they're really rich in zinc. I use about a small handful. I also encourage eating oysters if you can. 80% of athletes are zinc deficient. That means probably just the same amount of percentage if normal people are zinc deficient. Zinc is a precursor to building testosterone and balancing the hormones in the body. So it's very important for us to eat zinc. And, sure, you can take supplements, but once again, if you can get out of your food instead of buying supplements, you're doing yourself a much bigger favor, and you're probably actually saving yourself some money. Apples, make sure you buy organic. The skin has a fiber that's called pectin. It's really great soluble fiber for you. Most of the nutrients, though, are in the seeds and the cores. So just, boom, you twist off the little end, whole apple. Sometimes cut it up depending on the size of your blender or what's quality about it. Asparagus, #1 in glutathione. Okay, glutathione is an enzyme, a protein-based enzyme that can pass the blood-brain barrier and fight free radicals off in the brain. This is so good for anything neurologically. It's also great for liver and kidney detoxification. If you notice that your urine smells, it's because it's actually cleaning out your kidneys and you have toxins sitting there. That's why only a small, or I should say a larger percentage of people have smells when they eat this. But once you get clean, it actually doesn't smell anymore. So I highly encourage eating more asparagus. And as far as this goes, I would probably use about a quarter, a third, maybe only about, this is a pretty big bundle, maybe only a quarter. Once again, you have to play with the quantities to get your flavor profile right. So start with a small amount of everything and add in to make sure that your smoothie tastes okay, especially if somebody's trying it for the first time. The last one I want to touch on is strawberries. It's a great addition. Once again, also, this is one thing that you should always buy organic. Strawberries grow on the ground, therefore they get dumped more herbicides and pesticides than any other fruit there is on the market. And they're very porous, so it's just virtually impossible to be able to wash off all those herbicides and pesticides. You just want to buy organic strawberries, trust me on this one. But not everything requires to be organic. If you're encouraged, you can also look up like the Dirty Dozen. It tells you the worst fruits and vegetables that you should not buy organic if you want to save some money. But really, all of this was maybe 25 or so bucks. And you can make a lot of smoothies with this. You could give a whole family a smoothie plus with this. Also, if you're not just making it the one time, you can buy airtight containers and you can serve smoothies at a later date, put them in the refrigerator. They can be a grab and go for your kids. And listen, you're talking about a week's worth of fruits and vegetables in a single drink. Some of these have powerful symptom-reversing phytonutrients, vitamins and minerals that your kids might be starving for, or yourselves. So do yourself a favor, buy some good ingredients, start with good quality water, and make smoothies at home. It could be the best meal that your kids or you take in all day long. So, this is Chris Vanberg. If you don't make time for your wellness, you will make time for your illness. Have a blessed day.